Hello viewers, how are you? I want to thank God for this opportunity that you are now about to watch a few notes, or is it ideas, which are in the Bible, particularly in the first two chapters in the Bible. You find there are quite a number of terms which have been used, and these terms are very, very many. Like we have got Adam, we have got also Eden, we have got the garden in Eden with the tree of life, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, the river starting as one and dividing into four headwaters, the eating of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and the kind of death man underwent after eating the tree, the forbidden tree. The curses handed down to the serpent and man by God. We are going now to look at all these terms because it is very, very important for us to understand. Particularly when you think in terms of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and this tree of the knowledge of good and evil is a tree when if you eat of it, you are going to die. The question is, how is it that a tree of the knowledge of good and evil, God tells you not to eat? Does he want you to remain a daft or what? What is this tree? And why is it the eating of it is against the living God? The eating of it is metaphoric, and the tree itself is also metaphoric. And you find that within the garden, we have also the tree of life. In that garden, we have got a river which starts as one and ends up in four headwaters. Hey, wait a moment. A river starts as one and ends up in four headwaters. Wait a moment. Under normal circumstances, a river starts small and it is fed by tributaries. It becomes one big one at the end. But this one is the reverse. It starts as one, but ends up in four headwaters. What is this? This river is in the garden. What is this garden, by the way? This garden is actually this man, this human being. This is the garden. And the river is the blood system. The blood system, because when you have got the blood, when you breathe in oxygen, this oxygen gets into the lungs, and then after that, the blood is oxygenated. Then it goes to the heart, the left auricle, and then it goes to left ventricle, and comes out of the aorta. And in order to oxygenate the whole body, then you have got that is the one extreme, the other extreme, and then that extreme. There are four extremes. Those are the four headwaters of the blood system in man, and therefore you find that the whole body is oxygenated, and this body is actually the garden itself. So it is very, very important for us to understand some of these terms, if indeed we are going to understand when man ate the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, why he is considered to be dead spiritually, why he did not have to eat the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil is actually your conscience. The conscience within you is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and it tells you exactly that anything that goes away from the will of God, it tells you and you come back, because it brings dissonance. So the tree of the knowledge of good and evil is your conscience, and that conscience is the one which tells you when you are in the will of the living God. The tree of life, of course, is it's God himself, who is a spirit. You see, in chapter 2 of Genesis, you find in verse 7 part B, you find God breathing into the nostrils of this man the breath of life, and man becomes a living being. You find, therefore, that the tree of life is God himself, who is inside man. And when he came, because his spirit is infinity in value, very so the spirit of man himself is finite in number, in value. You know that mathematics we used to do when we were in secondary school. Infinity plus x is always infinity. So you find that before God entered man, man was still a spiritual being. However, God took residence inside this man, and his spirit was infinity in value. So, infinity plus x is always infinity. So in that particular case, man was not complete until he was indwelt by God. But then he was warned. Man was warned by God. The day you eat the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you shall surely die. What does that mean? That means when you decide that you want to use your conscience independently of God, that God will come out, and you will be left with only your spirit, which is a finite number. So it's just like, let's say, for example, you having a whole tanker of water, a whole tanker of 20,000 liters, and then you have got the Indian Ocean. And your value is the entire Indian Ocean plus of 20,000 liters. And now, the Indian Ocean disappears. And that was your value. What is the value of man? So that's the time when man, therefore, died, and he continued living, but all what there is that he has got very little of his value. That is like he's considered to be dead, while he's still living, but the value of the whole of Indian Ocean disappears, and you are left with only 20,000 liters. And that's the reason why man could never be in a position to redeem himself. And that's the reason why Jesus had to come at one point, so that he can be in a position to bring the very spirit of the living God. Because Jesus is the exact representation of the being of his Father. And when he came, he was complete like the first Adam. You know, he came as the second Adam. In 1 Corinthians 15, verse 45, you find there Jesus is considered to have, he came as the second Adam. And he came complete like the first Adam before he ate the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, when he was indwelt by God. That's the reason why Jesus is referred to as Emmanuel, God with us. He came as the second Adam, complete. And that is what, therefore, he had now to give at the cross, is the very spirit of his Father. And when he gave it to at the cross, he said, "Into your hands, Father, I commit my spirit." And that is exactly what it is, why he came, in order to redeem us. The fact that Jesus died does not mean that everybody is redeemed. Until you yourself, as a person, you receive Jesus personally, you invite him, he comes with his Father. Remember, he's Emmanuel. So Emmanuel is God with us. So when he comes in, he comes with his very spirit, and then you are born again. You move from death into life. And that's exactly what the Word of God says in John chapter 5, verse 24. "Verily, verily, I say to you, he who hears my word and believes him who sent me has everlasting life. He shall not come into judgment, but has passed from death into life." Because you have received what we lost in the first Adam. And therefore, it is very, very important to understand that, particularly that particular aspect. What is this tree of the knowledge of good and evil? The tree of the knowledge of good and evil is your conscience. The tree of life is God himself, who is living inside this man. Therefore, it is very, very important to understand some of these terms. But if you want, you can actually buy this book here. And this book, The Drama at Eden, with the masks peeled off. And I can tell you for sure, you will be in a position to understand, and you'll be reading the Bible very, very clearly with these masks peeled off. I urge you to subscribe and at the same time make sure that at least you look for this book here, because this book is going to give you all the information, and at the end of the day you are going to be able to read the Bible without much of a problem, because it opens up. That's the reason why it's called the drama at Eden, with the masks peeled off. Add time ushering nuggets by your friend here, Reverend Dr. J.B.K. Murimi. May God bless you so much, even as you continue to subscribe and look for this book.